OpenAI just quietly bought the Python tool that every AI agent runs on. No announcement at the conference, no press fanfares. They just quietly acquired the plumbing. And nobody's been talking about what happens when one company owns the entire pipeline that the entire industry drinks from. That's what we are going to talk about this week. Welcome to MCP Weekly. I'm Omshri. This week, NVIDIA builds a security cage around the most powerful open source AI agent in the world. Anthropic gives every developer 1 million tokens and doesn't make a big deal out of it. And OpenAI quietly acquired the Python toolchain that 126 million developers use every single month. Let's get into it. This episode is brought to you by Gentoro, and if you want to go deeper on anything we covered today, there is a blog in the description where I publish everything in detail. Same signal, more detail. Link in description. OpenClaw was powerful. Brilliant. Honestly, AI that could browse, code, send emails, no clicks needed. Fastest growing open source project in history. Enterprise still wouldn't touch it. Why? Because it ran with access to everything. No guardrails, no audit trails, pure chaos. Gartner said it plainly. Enterprise aren't anti-agent, they are anti-chaos. NVIDIA heard that. At GTC on March 16th, Sir Jensen Huang announced NemoClaw, OpenClaw plus a security wrapper, sandboxed runtime, policy-based control, privacy layer, and one command install. Still in alpha, Ruff as just expected. But the real signal wasn't the project. It was the question Sir Jensen asked on stage. What's your OpenClaw strategy? Same energy as what your Linux strategy 20 years ago. The race to govern agentic AI just officially started. Here's the thing that nobody says out aloud. Sandboxing your AI agents isn't about trusting it. It's about designing for the assumption that it will misbehave. NanoClaw launched 6 weeks ago. Weekend project, 20,000 GitHub stars and more than 100,000 downloads later, Docker partnership announced. Now, every NanoClaw agent runs inside its own Docker container, inside a MicroVM. Two hard isolation layer between what your agent does and your actual machine. Docker's COO said it simply, security is defense in depth. You need every layer. On March 19th, Cursor launched an in-house coding model claiming frontier-level performance at 84% lower cost. While GPT-5.4 still leads, Cursor model beats Claude Opus 4.6 on several benchmarks, prioritizing value over raw leads. Unstated in the release, Composer 2 is built on Moonshot AI Kimi K2.5. After a community member noticed, Cursor VP confirmed it, and the co-founder admitted the omission was a mistake. The pricing impact will outlast the transparency issue. By building its own AI stack, Cursor is reclaiming margin previously held by Anthropic and OpenAI. March 13th, Anthropic made the 1 million token context window generally available for Claude Opus 4.6 and Sonnet 4.6. Standard pricing, no surcharge, no beta flag. 1 million token is roughly around 750,000 words. The entire Harry Potter series, twice with room still left. Google Gemini still charges double above 200,000 tokens. GPT 5.4 still charges double over 272,000 tokens. Anthropic just made the most expensive part of long context AI free. The recall benchmark matters too. Opus 4.6 scores 78.3% on MRCR, V2 at full context, highest amongst the all frontier models. That means the model actually remembers what you told it 800,000 tokens ago. For anyone building agentic system, the architectural bottleneck that forced complex RAG pipeline is gone at standard pricing. Anthropic didn't throw a party around it. They just did it. That's somehow the most unsettling part. This is the story I opened with. Stay with me. March 19th, OpenAI announced its acquisition of Astral, the company behind UV, Ruff, and TY. UV replaced PIP 10 to 100 times faster, 126 million downloads last month. Ruff replaced the three separate inline linting tools combined. These are not niche tools, they are load-bearer infrastructures for modern Python development. OpenAI stated reason: Codex has around 2 million weekly active users. Astral tools give it a closed loop, generate codes, manage dependencies, lint, formats, all in just one workflow. OpenAI reportedly saved 1 million minutes of computing per week just by using UV instead of pip. The Python community has one question and nobody has answered it yet. UV and Ruff are open source under permissive license. For now, OpenAI has promised to keep them that way. They have made promises like that before, but we all do remember what has happened. When the company building the most capable AI coding agent also owns the most critical Python development tools, the line between the assistant and the infrastructure disappears. Think about that for a second. This one is subtle, but it matters. SAST, Static Application Security Testing, has been the standard for coding security review for decades. OpenAI Codex Security agent doesn't use it at the starting point, and then wrote a whole post explaining why. SAST can trace data flow. What it can't do is determine whether the security check it found actually works. They cite a real vulnerability, CVE 2024-29041. An Express.js open redirect where the sanitizer ran, but the URL was decoded after the check, not before. The data flow looked clean, the vulnerability was real. SAST missed it entirely. In research preview, Codex Security has scanned over 1.2 million commits. 792 critical vulnerabilities were found. False positives down by over 50% since beta began. AI security tools are no longer trying what traditional scanners found. They are finding the vulnerability traditional scanners structurally cannot see. March 17th, Alibaba launched Wukong, an enterprise AI agent platform on their own Qwen model. Document editing, meeting transcription, approval, research, anything, multi-agent from one single interface. The bigger story is around it. CEO Eddie Wu created a new division called Alibaba Token Hub, pulling together their entire AI operation under one single roof. 360 billion RMB, $53 billion. 3 years commitment. But 3 senior Qwen executives left in the week before this restructuring, including the head of Qwen who posted on X, "Me stepping down by my beloved Qwen." Wukong is invite only, built on CLI native architecture, designed on the agentic era. Alibaba is reorganizing everything around its agent. The talent exodus from Qwen tells you the internal pressure behind the pivot is significant. 88% of organizations have reportedly suspected or confirmed AI agent security incident. Only 22% treat agents as independent, identity-bearing entities that need their own credentials and access control. The gap between how fast agents are being deployed and how slowly governance is catching up to them is exactly what Okta is targeting. Okta for AI agents goes generally available April 30th. 3 questions are answered. Where are my agents? What can they connect to? And what can they do? It includes shadow agent discovery, finding agents employees spun up without IT knowing, plus a kill switch if an agent misbehaves unexpectedly. The identity problem for AI agents is the same problem every enterprise solved for humans around 20 years ago. Okta is betting that the solution is worth billions the second time around it too. On March 17th, Google released the Colab MCP Server, open source and immediately available. It lets any local AI agent, Claude Code, Gemini CLI or your own custom build connect directly to Google's Colab Cloud Notebook. The problem it solves is simple. Your local AI agent is bottlenecked by your hardware, running ML jobs, analyzing massive data sets, spinning up GPU environment. Your laptop wasn't built for that. But with the Colab MCP server, the agent runs it locally. The heavy computing runs in Google's cloud. The agent creates cells, write Python, execute code, structure full notebooks, all programmatically. Google just turned cloud computing into an MCP endpoint. Any agent with MCP support can now rent a GPU without the developers touching the interface. Two announcements, same week. March 17th, Azure DevOps Remote MCP Server entered the public preview. 2 days later, it landed inside the Microsoft Foundry. The result, an AI agent built in Foundry can now query your Azure DevOps organization for live data. It can work items, pull requests, pipeline status, and sprint health all through a single URL endpoint. No local installation and authentication through Microsoft Entra. Microsoft has also signaled they will eventually depreciate the local MCP server version entirely. If you are on the local version, start planning the migration right now. Sprint, pipeline, and repos all becoming the live context that AI agents can query in real time. That's a meaningful step towards agents that understand your actual development workflow, not the description of it. Snowflake Ventures invested in Bedrock Data on March 19th. The integration adds AI-driven data classification and governance directly into Snowflake's horizon, giving enterprise a continuous view of what sensitive data exists in their environment and which AI agent can reach it. The piece worth watching is Argus AI. It inventories Cortex agent and maps exactly which data they can access. So, when your AI agent is querying your data warehouse, someone can actually answer what did it see and what could it have seen. The head of Snowflake Ventures said it plainly, governance is not a nice to have. It's a prerequisite for deploying AI with confidence. The data governance problem for AI agents is finally getting an infrastructure level answer. 12 stories and one thread running through all of them. The infrastructure layer for agentic AI is being built right now, all simultaneously, all running, all making bets on who owns what. And the question I keep coming back to, OpenAI now owns the Python toolchain that every AI agent runs on. Isn't that the most important infrastructure acquisition of 2026? Or it is just one of those moves that only look significant in retrospection? I don't know yet, and I think that uncertainty is the most honest thing I can tell you. Drop in your take in the comments, I want to know what you are thinking. And don't forget to check my blog on Gentoro. MCP Weekly drops every week. See you next week.